At 61, Johnny Depp broke his silence in 20v23, dismissing negative rumors and confirming the public's long-held suspicions about his turbulent journey from Hollywood icon as Jack Sparrow to the epicenter of the Amber Heard scandal. This eccentric star has endured more than his share of pain. Now, Depp has chosen a new way of life, stepping away from the spotlight and opening a surprising new Leaving Hollywood chapter. His bold decision promises to shed light on the story behind his disappearance and dramatic return, keeping fans glued to every twist. Depp's decision to leave Hollywood reflects a deep disillusionment with the very industry that once catapulted him to stardom, but later plunged him into relentless scrutiny. After being dropped from major projects, he realized that the heart of American entertainment was no longer a place for him. In 2023, Johnny Depp officially left Los Angeles, ending his life at the center of the film industry. He moved to Somerset, a quiet countryside in England, where he now lives on an estate spanning over 800,000 square meters. Depp never announced his retirement. He didn't host a farewell tour. He simply vanished from every major media outlet. A full year after the move, not a single image of him has surfaced at any of the events where he once lit up the red carpet. In an interview with a local newspaper, Depp offered a brief, telling statement. "I don't live to be noticed anymore. I live to be at peace." The quote quickly spread across social media. It was a declaration from a man who had deliberately stepped away from the empire that once placed him at the pinnacle of fame. But that peace did not mean vanishing from public life. On the contrary, Johnny Depp began reshaping his presence through entirely different platforms. His paintings, mostly portraits or surrealist pieces, fetched over $5 million at auctions within just a few months. Limited edition prints priced up to $50,000, each regularly sold out before public release. His work was featured in the 2024 A Bunch of Stuff exhibition in New York, drawing hundreds of visitors from devoted fans to seasoned collectors. At the exhibition, Depp shared, "Painting is how I say the things I can't put into words," revealing that art had become a refuge for his restrained emotions. Music has also taken on a vital role in Depp's new life. As a member of Hollywood Vampires alongside Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, he performed at various venues across Europe, including the Wacken Open Air Rock Festival in Germany and several stages in France. These shows, where Depp played guitar and provided backing vocals, received positive responses from audiences, proving that he remains a captivating live performer. Songs like David Bowie's Heroes, covered by the band, bore Depp's personal imprint, an artist who has long seen himself as an outsider in the entertainment world. Though he no longer acts in films, he remains one of the most successful global brand ambassadors. Johnny Depp has become one of the most commercially powerful figures despite his absence from the screen. The Dior Savage fragrance line with Depp as its face broke global sales records in 2024. All promotional videos used archived footage. Depp didn't need to appear in new ads. His name alone sustained the brand's momentum. Dior not only renewed his contract, but expanded his presence at fashion events in Paris, where he was welcomed as a cultural icon. One media executive put it bluntly, "Depp doesn't need Hollywood to exist anymore." That's exactly what makes Hollywood afraid. Though he no longer acts in films, he remains one of the most successful global brand ambassadors. Johnny Depp has become one of the most powerful branding icons, even after stepping away from the screen. From the film industry's side, he has become untouchable. All inquiries from major studios, Marvel, Warner Brothers, Netflix, have reportedly been declined. Veteran directors like Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam are still eager to collaborate but have received no response. A former close associate revealed he no longer wants to be defined by any role. He used to be an icon. Now he chooses to simply be himself. Depp now runs his own life on his own terms. Each month, he receives a handful of project invitations, but rarely replies. In 2024, he turned down invitations from all three major film festivals, Venice, Cannes, and Berlin. Even so, his name still appeared on Variety's list of the most influential figures in the global entertainment industry. Without releasing a new film, without making a single appearance, Johnny Depp remains a name spoken daily. No one knows if Depp will ever return, but if he does, it will not be a quiet comeback. because behind that composed exterior, there are still wounds that have never truly closed. The trial that was thought to be over in 2022 continues to echo, lingering in Johnny Depp's memory and on the pages of magazines he no longer reads. The wounds of the past. In May 20th, 2016, Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp after just 15 months of marriage. At the same time, she publicly accused him of physical and emotional abuse, releasing a photo of her bruised face as evidence. The story instantly became a global media sensation. Depp did not respond immediately, and within days, the public narrative cast him as guilty by default. International media outlets unanimously labeled Depp an abuser. Human rights organizations condemned him, and online communities launched waves of boycotts. Within 3 weeks, Disney announced it was suspending their collaboration. The role of Jack Sparrow, the most iconic character of Depp's career, was removed from the franchise's future plans. Warner Brothers later forced him to step down from his role as Gellert Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series. A cascade of advertising campaigns were subsequently canceled. In 2018, Depp suffered another major blow when The Sun published an article referring to him as a wife-beater. He sued the paper in the UK but lost the case in 2020, further damaging his reputation. Tabloids continued to publish negative stories, portraying him as a washed-up star or alcoholic, often based on unverified claims. During this period, Depp withdrew from public life, avoiding long interviews and minimizing appearances. Sources close to him revealed that he felt deeply betrayed by the very industry that once celebrated him, especially as studios cut ties without seeking to verify the truth. Depp's career had nearly hit rock bottom. However, in early 2020, a leaked audio recording dramatically shifted the public narrative. In the recording, Heard admitted to hitting Depp and mocked his reaction. "I slapped you. So what? You're not a baby," she said. The audio sparked intense backlash and led many to begin questioning Heard's version of events. Social media posts spread rapidly with the hashtag #JusticeForJohnnyDepp garnering millions of shares. Fans who had long admired Depp for roles like Jack Sparrow began to believe he may have been falsely accused. This shift in public sentiment marked a new chapter, one in which people started to realize that the truth might not be what the media had originally portrayed. In early 2022, Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Heard in Virginia, citing the op-ed she wrote for the Washington Post in which she described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Though the article did not mention Depp by name, he argued that it had clearly damaged his image and caused significant harm to both his personal reputation and professional career. Depp also asserted that he had never physically abused her and that, in fact, he had been the one emotionally abused throughout their relationship. The trial lasted 6 weeks and was broadcast live across the U.S. and internationally. Both sides presented a barrage of evidence, private messages, sensitive images, and recordings. More than 100 hours of testimony, 30 witnesses, and hundreds of documents were submitted to the court. Witnesses, including former staff and friends of the couple, testified that Heard displayed controlling and aggressive behavior. One particularly shocking detail was the allegation that Heard had defecated on Depp's bed in an act of retaliation, a claim she denied, blaming the couple's dog instead. These moments, dramatic as they were, shed light on the chaos that defined their relationship. In one session, Depp recounted being struck by a thrown glass bottle, resulting in the tip of his finger being severed. His private physician confirmed that the injury was so severe the bone was exposed. A bodyguard described seeing Depp in a disoriented state with blood soaking to the bandages on his hand, unable to speak due to extreme blood loss. In 2022, the jury ruled in favor of Depp, ordering Heard to pay substantial damages while also requiring Depp to pay a smaller amount for a defamatory statement made by his attorney. The verdict not only cleared Depp's name but also marked a significant victory in the court of public opinion. Heard later relocated to Spain, distancing herself from the media spotlight. Meanwhile, Depp received overwhelming public support, with millions of fans expressing joy and relief across social media platforms. However, the legal victory did not erase the emotional scars Depp had endured. According to those close to him, he barely communicated with anyone for 2 months following the end of the trial. In a private letter shared with Le Monde, he wrote, "I didn't do this for revenge. I did it to survive. No longer seen as a fallen star, he has become the symbol of a man who was broken but stood back up even if he had to stand alone. But behind that calm exterior lies something that has been permanently altered: his faith in the system. For Johnny Depp, the trial wasn't release, it was a permanent scar. A veteran French director who met Depp in the post-trial period recalled, "He was calm, courteous, but his eyes were hollow, as if the rest of him had been left behind in that courtroom." Inside his Somerset home, Depp keeps all the legal records from the trial locked away in a dedicated room. Audio recordings, handwritten letters, text messages, medical reports. Every piece is meticulously archived, not because he hasn't let go, but because he won't allow himself to forget. And from within those closed rooms, something else has begun to take shape, a path not driven by vengeance, but one that makes no space for ease either. A new chapter of Johnny Depp's life is quietly unfolding, not to justify the past, but to be reborn in a way no one could have expected: a silent rebirth. Johnny Depp's return began at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where Jean du Barry, a French film in which he portrayed King Louis XV, was screened. The role marked his first major appearance since the Amber Heard trial, and was met with a 7-minute standing ovation. The crowd at Cannes, from critics to longtime fans, welcomed Depp as a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. The event was not just a professional milestone, it was proof that Depp remained beloved, especially in Europe, where he found support that Hollywood once denied him. The film later received mixed reviews from critics, but one thing was universally acknowledged: Johnny Depp's performance retained his emotional depth, magnetic presence, and screen-commanding intensity. Director Maïwenn declared, "I didn't cast Johnny because of the scandal. I cast him because no one else could embody Louis XV the way he does." In 2025, Depp officially returned to Hollywood with Daydrinker, a film co-starring Penelope Cruz and directed by Mark Webb. The role, described as a deeply layered character with a haunting inner world, marked his re-entry into commercial cinema after years of absence. Webb called Depp's character a drifter through his own life and stated, "I didn't need a movie star. I needed a wound that could act, and Johnny is the only one real enough." Following Daydrinker, another offer arrived, this time from Terry Gilliam, one of the most eccentric filmmakers in European cinema, for the role of Satan in Carnival at the End of Days. Gilliam explained that Depp was his only choice because he understands darkness at his root, but still carries a strange calm within. The project is currently in development, and Depp has not officially confirmed the role, but the announcement alone sparked excitement across the European art world. These offers from acclaimed directors suggest that the industry is beginning to open its doors to Depp once again, even as he had once declared he would never return to Hollywood. Johnny Depp's healthy lifestyle has become a crucial part of his personal rebirth. Since 2023, he has lost weight, taken greater care of his appearance, and let go of old habits that once led the media to label him a wild card. A close source confirmed that Depp has been completely sober since late 2022, changed his diet, and engages in light morning exercise. He hasn't attended rehab, nor did he hire a specialist. Everything unfolded quietly on his own terms. A doctor in Somerset who performs routine checkups noted his cardiovascular health is stable, liver enzyme levels have improved, and there are no signs of relapse. Residents of Somerset, where Depp now lives, say he's often seen taking morning walks, reading in his garden, or quietly participating in small community efforts like donating to the local library. These simple details reflect a different Depp, one no longer swept up in a whirlwind of parties and tabloid chaos. His physical transformation has come with psychological change. Depp no longer loses his temper or reacts harshly when pressed by the media. At an event in France, when a reporter brought up Heard, he simply responded, "That chapter has passed. Let's not go backward." Some speculate that he's merely playing the role of a normal Johnny Depp to repair his public image, but those closest to him disagree. As director Mark Webb once put it, Depp isn't acting anymore. He doesn't have the energy to perform as himself. The clearest expression of Depp's internal transformation lies in the art he now creates. The paintings and a bunch of stuff no longer follow the commercial pop art style he once explored. They are darker, emptier, filled with silence. A private gallery in Germany purchased the entire 12-piece surrealist collection he painted in 2024, describing them as the works of a man who has walked through hell. His music, too, has grown softer, more stripped down. In a privately released live recording, he plays an unamplified acoustic guitar, raw, unprocessed, and sings in fragmented, whispered lines. At times, it's barely more than a murmur. "I don't have anything left to sing loudly about," he said during a band sound check. Silence has now become his primary language. There are no bold declarations, no need for explanations, no desire for proclamations. Depp chooses to appear like an underground current, present without seeking attention. He has turned down memoir deals, refused post-trial interview offers. Publishers have proposed seven-figure advances. He hasn't responded. In a private letter to director Terry Gilliam, Depp once wrote, "I've lost every definition of who I was, and when there was nothing left, I began again with the smallest thing I could hold on to myself." No one calls him a superstar anymore. The European media now refer to him as a man crossing between two worlds. One, the Hollywood that once exalted and discarded him. The other, a personal artistic space where he is rebuilding himself. And he's not trying to fully return to either side. Audiences once familiar with Depp through blockbuster roles have come to see that he has changed into a better version of himself. His rebirth is not merely a story returning to the screen, but a testament to his ability to endure and rise from adversity. His new roles, art exhibitions, and performances with Hollywood vampires all bear the imprint of freer Depp, no longer bound by Hollywood's expectations. His healthy lifestyle, focus on art, and the warm reception from European audiences affirm that he has discovered a renewed sense of purpose. Depp's journey of rebirth from 2023 to his projects in 2025 stands as a quiet but powerful declaration. He did not merely survive the darkest chapters. He grew stronger through them. Fans once fearful that he might never return now witness an artist fully alive in his passion. This transformation, though carried out in silence, holds the weight of a deeply dramatic story, a star finding light again after walking through shadow. No one knows how long this path will last, but one thing is clear. It does not lead back to where it began. Because after everything, a final truth is quietly emerging, a silent affirmation strong enough to close a chapter on an era long misunderstood. Johnny Depp's story is not a triumphant comeback of a fallen star. It is a survival of a man who endured a nameless storm and walked out of it in an entirely different form, one who no longer craves to be understood, nor fears being misunderstood. If you believe this story deserves to be remembered, leave a comment, share the article, and follow the channel, because sometimes the most powerful voice is the way it spreads.